You're sitting there, feeling like the world is moving around you, and you're stuck in quicksand. You're lost. You don't know where you're going, what you're doing, or who you even are anymore. It feels like everything around you is closing in. But I'm here to tell you something. That's the exact moment when you're on the edge of breaking through. The moment when you stop running from the pain and start running towards something better. Something real. You think you're lost? Well, guess what? You're not lost. You've just forgotten one important thing. You have control. Look, life is tough. It's brutal. It's full of pain, rejection, failure, and disappointment. But let me tell you something. That pain, that struggle, it's a gift. It's the fire that forges you into something stronger. Without that, you'd just be a soft, complacent version of yourself, doing what everybody else is doing, never pushing yourself. And that's not living. That's existing. When you feel lost, you've got two choices. You can keep sitting there, wallowing in your misery, letting the world eat you alive, or you can step up. You can dig deep and find that thing inside you that says, I'm not done. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going. You don't get to quit. Not today. Not ever. You feel lost? Yeah, I get it. You've been knocked down. You've been hurt. You've been betrayed. But you've got to look at that pain, look at that confusion and say, this is temporary. This is what I'm going to use to grow. This is going to make me stronger. You've got to have that belief in yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. The world isn't out there to hand you anything. If you're waiting for someone to come save you, forget it. It's all on you. There's no magic solution to feeling lost. There's no easy way out. But there's one thing that you can do, and that's make moves. You have to take that first step, even when you're afraid, even when you're unsure, even when the whole world feels like it's against you. Take that step, and then take another, and another. The more you move, the clearer everything becomes. I want you to understand something right now. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lost. You're just temporarily off course. And that's okay. That's part of the process. But you have to get in the habit of pushing through. You can't sit there waiting for your feelings to get better. You can't sit around hoping for motivation to strike you like a bolt of lightning. It doesn't work like that. Motivation is a lie. It's an excuse. It's something you rely on when you're too lazy to dig deep and get the job done. It's about discipline. It's about making the decision every day, every hour, every minute that you're going to take control, that you're not going to let this life pass you by. You're not going to sit in that dark, miserable hole just because it's easier. You're going to fight. When you feel lost, it's a sign. It's your body telling you that you've been coasting too long. You've been living a life on autopilot, just going through the motions, following the crowd. But you don't belong in the crowd. You were made for more. You were made to stand out, to fight, to conquer, to win. But that's going to take work, and that work starts now. You've got to make the decision that you're done feeling sorry for yourself. You've got to make the decision that you're going to turn this around, and it doesn't matter how hard it gets. It doesn't matter how much pain you have to go through. You're going to keep moving forward because the truth is there's no magic pill. There's no shortcut to success. You don't get to be the best without putting in the time, without grinding, without getting uncomfortable. And the moment you start getting uncomfortable, the moment you start feeling the burn, that's when you know you're on the right track. So if you feel lost, that means you're at a crossroads. That's your opportunity to change. That's your moment to shift gears and take control. But you can't do it by thinking. You've got to stop thinking and start doing. You want to find your way? You want to stop feeling lost? Then you need to find your purpose. And guess what? That's not something you just stumble upon. It's something you create. You find purpose through action, through getting up every single day and going after it, no matter how small the progress seems. It's through the effort, the sweat, the sacrifice. That's how you create purpose. That's how you find direction. So stop waiting for things to get better. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. You want to find your way? It starts by making a decision. A decision to get up, to stop hiding, to stop running from the pain and face it head on. The path forward is hard, but it's there. It's not going to be handed to you. But if you want it bad enough, you will find it. You don't need to know everything right now. You just need to start. You need to stop making excuses. Stop making excuses about why you're not good enough, why you don't have the right resources, why you're not ready. You are ready right now. You just have to commit to yourself, to your goals, to your future. The longer you stay stuck, the longer you're going to stay lost. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to give you the answers. You've got to take control of your life. You've got to build your own momentum. You've got to go all in every day, every moment. And when you get knocked down, when you feel like quitting, when you want to throw in the towel, that's when you get up and keep moving. That's when you push harder than ever before. That's when you tap into the warrior inside you and refuse to be broken. The reality is this: you are not lost. You are on the verge of your breakthrough. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be smooth. But if you're willing to embrace the struggle, to embrace the hard times, and to keep pushing forward, you will find your way. You will find your purpose, but only if you're willing to give it everything you've got. Only if you're willing to do the work when no one else is watching. Only if you're willing to commit to the grind day in and day out, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you get knocked down. It's about getting back up every single time. So stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop waiting for things to get better. You have the power to change your life right now. It all starts with you making the decision to move. And when you move, everything starts to fall into place. You just have to trust the process. Keep moving. Keep fighting. Keep going. You think you've hit the bottom, huh? That's exactly where you need to be. Because it's in that bottomless pit of despair, in that place where you feel like you're suffocating, where you can find the strength to rise up and destroy the version of you that's holding you back. But you've got to want it. You've got to want it more than anything. You've got to stop looking for the easy way out. There's no shortcut to greatness. There's no quick fix to feeling lost. It's about getting uncomfortable, about pushing yourself further than you ever thought possible, about doing what others won't do. When you feel lost, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you're the only one. It's easy to feel like everyone else has their life together, like they know exactly what they're doing while you're just floating aimlessly in a sea of confusion. But let me tell you something. Everyone feels lost at some point. Everyone. Even the people you admire, the ones you think have it all figured out. They've been there. They've felt the darkness closing in. They've wondered if they'll ever find their way. But the difference is they didn't stop. They didn't throw in the towel. They didn't let that feeling of being lost consume them. If you want to stop feeling lost, you got to stop relying on external factors to make you feel whole. Stop waiting for someone to give you validation. Stop waiting for the perfect circumstances. It's all within you. You have the ability to change your life. But you've got to stop playing the victim. You've got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You know what? You're right. It's hard. It sucks sometimes. There are days when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry. You feel like you're losing ground, like no matter how hard you try, you're always one step behind. But you know what? That's part of the process. That's part of the grind. You're not going to always feel motivated. You're not going to always feel like you have it all figured out, but that's when the real work happens. It's when you're exhausted, when you've been beaten down, that you find out what you're really made of. And here's the thing. You've got to make peace with that struggle. You've got to embrace it. You've got to love the grind. You've got to love the feeling of pushing yourself when every part of you wants to quit. That's when the transformation happens. That's when the real growth begins. Because the only way to break through is to endure the pain, to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let me tell you something. Every time you feel lost, every time you hit a wall, every time you feel like you've hit rock bottom, that's your opportunity to change your entire life. That's your opportunity to rise up, to go to war with your own limitations, and to destroy them. But you've got to make that choice. You've got to make the decision that you're not going to let this define you. You think you're lost, but I'm telling you, you're not. You've just been playing small. You've been letting fear hold you back. You've been looking for external solutions instead of turning inward and looking at what you can control. And that's everything. The moment you realize that you are the key to your own success, that you are the one who gets to decide what happens next, that's when everything changes.